Hey guys, this is EgoCity, and today I've got some potentially breaking news for some of you Dynasty Warriors fans out there. There is going to be a Dynasty Warriors type game released for the Android and the iOS. Now currently this is being released in Japan, but it's due out at the end of this month, and you can register for the game right now if you want to. I'll put the link in the description. The game will be some form of card game. Now it looks similar to Legends of the Cryptids, Chains of Durandal, Guardian's Cross, Dead Man's Cross, Rage of the Bahamut, similar type game to that. The game is being released as a free-to-play game. I assume, just like everything else, they will be taking advantage of the in-app purchase function of the game. Just like all the other card games out there, you will be able to buy gold and trade this in for better cards with the chance of a different type of card. Now I've seen there are uncommon cards, there are common cards, rare cards, and there seems to be a holographic super rare type of card. Now I believe this will be things like Lubu, Great Warriors, ones with special abilities, unlike the basic generals. Now another new thing about the game is there are at least 8 new characters being brought into the franchise. The characters I've found are Sun Yi, ZhouShi, XuSheng, ZhouShi, Lady ZhouShi, Gangan, and Shiba Key. Now excuse the pronunciations of the names, but I will try and explain who they are and give you a bit of a broader aspect to the game itself. First I'll start with Wu. The first character is Sun Yi. I class myself as a big Dynasty Warriors fan, Romance of the Three Kingdoms fan. I love anything from the Three Kingdoms era, and I was not aware about this character. Obviously I've not read into it too much. Now Sun Yi is Sun Juan's 3rd son. He's his youngest son. He was actually expected to succeed Sun Ce as the ruler of the family and the kingdom, because he was very similar to him in martial valor and fierce personality, but he was passed over by his second brother Sun Quan. He was 19 when he died, and he died in Danyang. He was due to have some form of council meeting with all the local chiefs in the area. His wife had warned him about going to this area. Apparently he had some form of premonition. He says, don't go, something bad's going to happen. But he said, this is my job, I've got to do what I've got to do. Sun Yi normally carried a sword with him everywhere he went, but he got a little bit drunk at the party like everybody does, and when he was bidding farewell to the guests, he said Bian Hong attacked him from behind and killed him. Now Bian Hong did a runner. He was later found and killed by Gailan and Dai Yuan. Shockingly, these two were the actual people who persuaded him to rebel against Sun Yi in the first place. The second character which is being brought into the game is ZhouShi. This is going to be the wife of Sun Yi. This is the woman who said to him, listen, don't go to the meeting. It's going to kick off. Something's going to go wrong. This seems like an awesome character. When she found out that her husband had been killed, she decided to plot a revenge. She invited Gailan around, she seduced him, and she said that she would marry him, but she wanted a month to grieve her husband that had died. Gailan agreed to this, and he returned a month later, assuming that he'd marry her, went round for drinks. They went upstairs for a bit of slap and tickle, and when they got in the bedroom, there was a bunch of officers waiting for him. They did him over, cut his head off, wiped him out. Dian Yuan obviously never knew about this, and she did exactly the same thing to him. She invited him round for a bit of slap and tickle. They went upstairs. Next thing you know, gets a good kick in, cut his head off, he's dead as well. But this is where it gets good. You don't mess with ZhouShi, obviously, because she went to the generals and she said, right, I want you to go around to these guys' relatives and I want you to kill them all. We wiped out the relatives of this person. What an awesome character is that. The next character is ZhouSheng. ZhouSheng was a military general under Sun Quan, and he was known for his ability to overcome the odds in battle. Now, he was very clever, and on one of many occasions during a battle at Chaisang, he managed to overcome 1,000 troops with only 200 of his own. He died between 222 and 229. But not before he outsmarted Cao Pi, and he was involved in battles with Cao Cao and Liu Bei. Another character, we're going to go to Wei. There's a lady called ZhouShi. This was Zhang Ji's wife and Zhang Zhao's aunt. The only thing that's really known about this lady is that she courted Cao Cao for a while, which annoyed Zhang Zhao, and he attempted to ambush Cao Cao at Wan Castle. That's all I know about that lady. Now the next one's a bit of Shu and a bit of Wei. This lady ZiaHou. She married Zhang Fei. I believe she was 13 when she married Zhang Fei. I'm sure that's not going to get put in the game. She was the niece of ZiaHou Yuan. Now, ZhouShi Yuan, if you have played Dynasty Warriors or read the books, he was killed by Yuan Zhong, who was a general of Shu. Now, Lady Zuha requested that the bones of ZhouShi Yuan would be buried, and they was done that because she married Zhang Fei. She was also detrimental in Zuha Ba, which was ZhouShi Yuan's second son, coming over to Shu towards the end of the Three Kingdoms era, or Four Kingdoms if you class Jin at that point. Another character, Gangan, very similar to Huang Zhong, was an archer. Now he was sacked before he joined Shu. He was in charge of Yizhou when Zhuge Liang and Zhang Fei approached to take over the area. Gangan refused to surrender and his army was defeated and he was captured alive. Zhang Fei was pretty angry about this because he wanted to know why he didn't submit, why he didn't give up when all his army was getting killed, butchered. His response was, even his Yizhou has generals with their heads cleaved off. It will never have a general who surrendered. Zhang Fei was fuming at this, threatened to kill him. Again, he responded, if you want to kill me, then do it. It is not necessary for you to be angered. Impressed by the utter boldness of the prisoners, Zhang Fei instead untied him and he joined Shu for a period of time. And the last character, Kai. Now this character has no real affiliation with anybody else. It seems to be some form of holographic card, which would be a special card for the deck if it's anything to go about the other games. There is no real affiliation or any political alliance to it, Shu, Wu or Wei or Jin, but this is the gentleman who trained Zhu Shu, Han Tong, and Zhuge Liang. So awesome character to be brought into the franchise. Now, what does this mean for the franchise? Well, personally, I believe that there is a very good chance these characters are going to make it into Dynasty Warriors 9. The reason I believe this is if you check all the other cards that are involved in this game, they're exact replicas of the characters in Dynasty Warriors. Now, the new characters that are being brought in are very well designed, which look like they've been drawn by the same people. I can't believe that they would make these characters if they aren't going to be brought across to Dynasty Warriors at some point. Saying that, some of them already have been in Dynasty Warriors. Some of them are generic generals that tell you things to do, or you see on the battlefield with a basic generic look. These have all been remodeled for the Muosou Blast game. Now, there will be pictures and the names of these characters in the description and in the video, so you can check these for yourself. There also was another character. Now, when I originally was translating these names, I translated one wrong, and I found another character which unfortunately isn't going to be in the game, but I wanted to add this because it was a bit of comic relief. I found it pretty amusing. Now, the character was ZhouShi, and he was a general for Cao. Now, during the Battle of Changbang, when Liu Bei tried to get all the peasants and all the people and get away from Cao, and Zhang Fei stood on the bridge and refused to let anybody pass. Now, Zhang Fei bellowed at Cao's army, and the fictional narrative suggests ZhouShi then panicked and died just because of his shout. Now, I would love this character to be brought out, even if it's just for a bit of a laugh in the Dynasty Warriors games, to level this guy up to level 99 just to get him to the bridge and just for Zhang Fei to shout him to collapse till game over. I think that'd be great. That'd be an ultimate troll from Oe Temko, and I think it's brilliant. And none of this is set in stone. The characters are there. They are going into the Muosou Blast game. Will they bring it into Dynasty Warriors? Personally, I think a lot of them will. The question would be, is how far are they going to bring the franchise? How far are they going to bring the history back? Are they going to bring it to the Han? Are they going to bring it to earlier periods? Because some of these characters weren't involved dramatically in the Three Kingdoms era. I'd love to go back to the Han. I mean, we've been brought forward to Jin. I would love to be brought back to the Han, see what happened back then, see if you could play some of the characters, even the Emperor. I mean, the Emperor has a distinct look in the game, but you can never play in him. It would be good if you could play it as him, as a special character. I don't doubt that there will be more characters being brought into the cards. Will they make it into the games? I don't know. That's not for me to decide, but I love it. Now, I do have a little bit more information. It does seem that there will be a Samurai Warriors version of this card game coming out. Now, on March the 10th of this year, when at the time Tenko Koei registered the trademarks for Shin Sengoku Muosou Blast, the Dynasty Warriors Blast game, they also registered Sengoku Muosou Shu, which is a Samurai Warriors game. Again, both these were trademarked on March the 10th. Obviously, there will be some form of Samurai Warriors game coming out. Will it be brought to the West? Currently, there's no plans to do that from what I can tell. But bear in mind, if it's anything like games like Dead Man's Cross or many of the card games right now, the text base is just for a bit of a story. There's no real need for it. It just brings a bit of story to the game. You may just be able to play it as is. You will be able to download this game. I will put a link in the description. If you can't register for the Japanese game, it will be available on APK at some point online. All games get released separately through APK. If you know what you're doing on your Android, you will just be able to install it. I don't think this will bother Koei Temco. Me saying this because it is a free-to-play game, it will not affect them. As for iOS, I don't know, you may have to jailbreak your phone to get your hands on a copy. Saying that, you can still register Japanese Apple account, so you shouldn't have any problem. You should be able to bring it in. As I said before, excuse my pronunciations of some of these names. Very strong British accent. I'm not great with Chinese names. I can do some of them, I can't do them all. I've been a big fan of Dynasty Warriors, and I really can't wait for this game. I will be playing this game if I understand it or not. Other than Super Mario, Dynasty Warriors and the Warriors games, it's the biggest impact in my life other than any game out there right now. I've been playing it for a long time. The first time I saw Dynasty Warriors was Dynasty Warriors 2 when I was at Manchester University, and a friend of mine invited me around to his dorm and he was playing a game. There was a guy on a horse and he was swinging this spear around. I'm like, wow, best graphics I've seen before this were Final Fantasy VII. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I didn't have a PlayStation 2 at the time. That day I went to HMV and I purchased a PlayStation 2 solely for Dynasty Warriors 2. Then about 7 years later, I found out that Warriors Urushi had been released solely for the Xbox 360. I didn't have an Xbox at the time. I went out and I purchased an Xbox 360, again solely for Dynasty Warriors. I've done the same. I bought a Wii U solely for Hyrule Warriors. I've imported Warriors Urushi Z for the PlayStation 3. I don't understand the thing that's going on there, but I know the basic storyline. I can enjoy the game, so I am very excited for this and potentially future games from this franchise. And thanks for stopping by, guys. If you liked the video, please leave a like. It'd mean a lot. Also, subscribe for more videos. And if you want to help me repronounce any of these names, because I'm pretty sure there'll be a lot of you sitting down saying, oh, you got a name wrong, phonetically write it in the comments just so I know. I have tried online to find some of these names. Unfortunately, I'm not the best at repronouncing certain things. Any help would be appreciated. If you've got any comments, any suggestions of who you think will be put in the game, who you think won't be put in the game, why not, feel free to leave any comments below and I'll get back to everybody. Now, this is Ego City on EgoCityGaming, and I will have more games, more information coming soon. Thank you for stopping by.